I had to shut the window because of the noise, and I can tell this is going to get really hot very quickly. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel La Fraise. I'm Noémie and my sewing assistant is here sleeping on my feet, and today I wanted to round up everything I've sewn this summer. Can't believe summer's already over and I'm making this video again because I made the one for spring and were my plans for the summer, and now here we are. Did I make my plans? The moment of truth. I now just had a look at the patterns and projects I have mentioned in my summer sewing plans, and I realized some of them are still on the list, so I'm sorry for the repeats. I'll try to go quickly through those because you're gonna be like, yes, you still haven't made this, and we get it. But let's start with what I have made this summer, and this starts with my most failed sewing project ever. If you've seen the video, I'm gonna try not to repeat myself too much, but if you've seen the video about making this gingham dress, you know that I had quite a lot of thoughts while making it, because basically I cut it and then I learned a bit more about double gauze, and I was like, oh, double gauze is really not ideal for princess seams, which you can see I have here, and it grows, and it's not really great for fitted project, which this is. And basically this has been a combination of wrong fabric, which is my fault, and not a great pattern. I'm really sorry to say it. I was really not impressed, and I'll keep it short. You can go and see the video if you want to know more about this. But basically, and I saw on Instagram that many other people had that issue as well, the top is draft really big, so you end up with a top that's too big. And then I personally shortened the skirt. That's fine, the skirt in the pattern was already too long for what I wanted. I ended up with a top that was very baggy and not fitting really well, and then because this is double gauze, it just grew a little bit more, and now I find it, I mean, I just feel so sloppy when I wear this. It just doesn't make me feel like my best. I'll put a few photos of like me wearing it when it was nice, and then I also put clips from this summer when I wore this, and you can really see how baggy it is and not great it is. I also have a super big hang up, which I mentioned in the video as well, but about the zipper, like, what is this for a finish? And I know I sewed this obviously, but I was following the pattern and I was like, there's a lining. If you have a lining, don't you have a moral duty to put the zipper within the lining? Which here I couldn't do because of the way the belt was constructed. I don't want to get back into this, but I was very disappointed. I'm disappointed by this, like, how ugly this is. At the same time, I understand that it's on the inside, and so no one sees it and it doesn't matter, but I see it and I like a job well done. And yeah, the top is just way too wide, and I had a lot of thinking about this. The issue, so I think if what I'm going to say now wasn't there, I would maybe try to like refit the top somehow by like doing lots of tucks, but I don't think it would be visible as a mending. But now the pockets have also, oh, actually when they're just washed they're fine, but when I'm wearing the pockets, they also like grow throughout the day and they end up like totally flopping out. So even though this is understitched, they end up kind of like facing out like this and just opening. I guess also because double gauze, yeah, you can see on this one, I think, how like gapey this pocket became, and like it was looking super nice when I finished the project, but after a few wears and a few washes, the pocket really like kind of gave up. And I have to say, what I love in this is the play between the short square and the long square. I'm still a very big fan of that. I'm kind of like thinking now, can I but like I think that'll be too complicated, but yeah. I love this. I think this is very nice. But yeah, it just doesn't work. I don't feel great in it. And what I'm currently considering is giving up all of the top part, you know, taking it apart for bits, and using this piece of fabric that the skirt is. I show it this way around because I think I would need to cut it this way around to make a top out of a summer top. And I think I would get a ton more wear out of a summer top made out of this, because it would be very lightweight, very breezy. I don't know, at the same time it feels silly to just give up on the dress, but the top is so badly fitted. I don't know if I can save it. I'll give it a try with a few pins. just feels like a waste to to recut this into a top. I'm really torn, and I really like this, and I like looking in the viewfinder. Okay, the jury's still out, and it might be something that I'm just parking until next summer, and then I'll come back to it and decide. But first project, massive disappointment. If you want to see the video of me making this, I'm also having like a meltdown every 10 seconds. So yeah, it looks nice. I'm really like, it looks nice. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like this, and it looks nice, but on me it doesn't work. It's too baggy, it's not nicely fitted, it was the wrong fabric, and it was not a super well fitted pattern to start with either. Next up is my Lockhart dress, and that I love so much. I've worn it for 2 weddings, and for me this dress was kind of a revelation because I kept using viscose for basically everything. I was like, nothing can beat the drape of a viscose, and I was like, this is what I want for everything. But then I saw this cotton that was slightly satiny, and I was like, oh, this is a cotton, but it looks very expensive and like a satin. It has a fine drape, and this dress was so easy to sew compared to other things I've made because it was a cotton, and so it was so stable. It's very fresh when you wear it, like, you know, it has the breathability of a cotton. It's satiny and shiny, so it looks super polished. The fabric pre-washed really well and stayed very nice. I hope it's going to stay nice through any more washes. I also have a video of me, I basically have video of me making basically everything. I have a vlog of me making this, and honestly, it was a pleasant experience. I have one little hang up at the waistline where I didn't make the 2 seams match, and I understood just after I did it what I did wrong. It happens. It's also explained in the booklet how not to do that mistake, and I still did it, but it's all right. I honestly feel so pretty in this dress. It's hard to explain, you know, it's just like a feel you have, you know, but I wear this and I feel so flattered. I think it's a shape that kind of suits me because as I'm narrower on the top and then wider on the bottom, this kind of like hugs the top and makes me look like graceful in a sense, and then camouflages everything under the big skirt. And I don't know, it really, like, I can't say enough how beautiful I feel in it. It's kind of a funny one because I made 2 dresses for weddings this summer. I made that one and the Springe dress, and I got so many comments for the Springe dress, like so many compliments. You guys loved it, but like in real life as well, like people really seem to have something with that other dress. And I personally don't feel as nice in the other dress. First, I don't feel as comfortable because the neckline is lower, and I don't know, I feel like it's just not as beautiful, but clearly people love that one. I'll come back to it when it's like, actually I'm talking about that one, but coming back to the Lockhart, I'm like, no one really complimented it. At the same time, I wore it at 2 weddings where it was raining and I was kind of like under a cardigan, but I don't really care that I didn't get compliments on my dress in real life. I truly felt beautiful in it. I felt so happy, I felt so confident, and if I could get away with going to the office with my Lockhart, I would. Actually, I'm now thinking, like, could I hack some sleeves onto your version to make a office appropriate? Oh, that's a challenge. Office appropriate Lockhart, because I truly love it and really feel super happy in it. I managed to cut the fabric in quite an economic way because the fabric was non-directional, so I had tons of leftover. I have enough to make maybe another project, but I have to think smartly like what I could use. However, if you've seen the video, I have cut something wrong, like not on the grain as it should have been, but so good. And honestly, it works perfectly and you can't really tell, so it's all fine. Next up, you have the red leotard and skirt that I have made for my dancing friend, and honestly, that was a dream project. Leotard, I felt so accomplished by the end of this. It fit so well. It didn't even take so many fittings because basically the only thing that really needed to be fitted on her was the elastic around the thighs, because I know from experience from my ballet dance years, they always make the elastic kind of like, I feel like a random size or way too tight, and it kind of like, even if you're a skinny ballet dancer, it kind of like cuts your bum cheek into, which is not a really good look. So I fitted it on her so the elastic would be the perfect tightness, but also like not cutting through her bum, which she appreciated, obviously. And yeah, I think it's super nice in red. It's quite a striking color. We, on the spur of the moment while at the shop, bought that random fabric to make a skirt out of, and I was like, is that a fabric appropriate to make a skirt? Who knows, but like, I just made it and it worked so well. And I don't know, the two pieces feel so beautiful. It went so well. I don't know, I can't explain. Like, it was a nice project to make, challenging enough but not too annoying, and it ended up beautiful. And I have such a positive feeling thinking about those two, because I'm like, they worked out so well, and I'm so happy with them both. So I don't know, maybe I should make more leotards. Oh, that's spoiler alert for my plans for autumn. Plans for autumn part of this video. But yeah, I'm super excited. Those I was super happy with. Definitely a top tier make from this summer. What next? Next, the jumpsuit I made for my wife. That was also a very pleasant project. Once more, clearly this summer was my cotton summer after all the viscose I've made, and like I've started sewing on so much viscose, and now I'm like using cottons for everything. Apparently it's like, I feel like it's not the way things should go, like you should start on cotton and then move on to viscose, but you know, apparently I did the other way around. But I did this jumpsuit for my wife. It turned out so well. She's wearing it tomorrow. Tomorrow she has a big presentation at uni and she's wearing that. So it's so cool. I'm so happy she's happy with it. I made it a little bit longer than the first one I made for her. I also repeated the same mistake I had made for the first one I made for her. So, you know, who am I trying to learn from my mistakes? Pooh! No, I'm joking. I did make the lining better this time because I checked that the lining would not be too long and therefore would not poke out. However, I did, if you go and watch that video, I did make the same issue with the center seam not being quite centered. No, I was super happy with this jumpsuit. It's fully lined as well. I mean, it's lined, so the jumpsuit is full length and the lining goes to like a short length so that she can wear whatever underwear she wants underneath, and you know, nothing is visible. So I think that's quite good. Super happy with this project. Once more, it was pleasant, not too hard, you know, like just the right amount of like challenge on a project. So I had a lot of fun with that one and I'm really happy with the results. I am kind of realizing I did a ton of selfless sewing this summer. So I have 15 projects, and out of the 15 projects, 9 are for other people. I think that's a record. I never sew so much for other people. So also 15 projects for summer is a lot for me. It was kind of a particular summer. I'm not going to get into it, but I had more time to sew than I normally would. So don't expect quite so many finished projects normally. But 9 things out of 15 for others. Go me, go me. Next we have the spring shorts that I made, and I really like them in a sense. I've been wearing them around the house a ton and they're comfy to wear around the house. Some of you mentioned that they're super expensive. Yes, I bought a very expensive fabric for shorts that in the end are going to stay around the house. I thought I would be able to wear them outside. Sadly, they are not really outside appropriate. I explained more in the video about them if you want to go and see that. But yeah, basically quite an expensive pair of shorts. Like, you know, shorts that you're just going to wear around the house. You're going to buy the cheapest, comfiest cotton, and I bought a luxury cotton satin. But, you know, a bit of luxury around the house. Why not, like, treat yourself? I realized, and that's not the pattern's fault, not at all, but I realized that I'm not a fan of a paper bag shape. I find that it creates kind of like a pouch where your tummy is and kind of like doesn't make it super flattering. Like even on my wife, who's a very thin person, it doesn't look flattering. Like it makes it look like you are bigger than you are in that area. Again, to wear around the house, super comfy, and I really like the print on the fabric, so that makes me happy. But yeah, I don't know if that one is a fail or not. Like, it's not a fail. I like them, but they're not really what I was intending. And I had one hang up about the way the shorts are finished, where I was like, oh, I don't like the way the pattern has planned this, but that's just the cuff. And if you want to make it differently, it's super easy. So I think that's all right. Which leads me to, because I had a big reflection about shorts this summer, and it's that if you have notes for your wardrobe, write them down now, like at the end of the season, because by next summer you're not gonna know anymore what you need or what's really like the issues in your wardrobe. And here the issue I have in my wardrobe is very clearly that I need shorts that I can walk in, because if you make those like wide baggy shorts, for me they kind of like move up or like move out of the way between my thighs, and then my thighs rub or they like get eaten up between my thighs, really good look, and like I don't feel comfortable walking in the streets of Brussels with shorts that are like basically up my crotch, and you know, I feel like my thighs are too exposed, like it's really not a comfortable feeling for me. So shorts that hug each thighs separately well enough so that they stay where they are and don't move up, you know, so that they cover a bit of my leg and that my thighs don't shave is what I want and what I need. If by next summer I'm a different person and I just wear dresses, fine, I won't make the shorts. But if I see that my lifestyle is still the same and what I want to do is still the same, I know at the start of summer, oh, Noémie from last year told me that what I need is shorts I can practically walk in. And so that kind of like helps me to know this is what I need, this is what I need to focus on. And to kind of get focused in your sewing, I always find that it's really good at the end of the season to have a little reflection about what you would need for next time and to write it down somewhere so that you remember, just because I feel like by next summer I will have forgotten that I had this issue by the time I realize it's going to be midsummer, and then, you know, you see how it goes. So like, write it down so that at the start of next summer, when you're planning what you're going to sew, that's on top of your list. Next one, it's a bikini top I made for myself out of leftover fabric that I had from my Sandpiper swimsuit. So what I wanted was to make a second top that could go with my Sandpiper swim bottom, and I am so happy with that top because the Sandpiper, I already showed it a few times, so I'm not going to go too long about this, but like the Sandpiper is quite covered, which is really fine for some situations, but here I was going to be in a tiny B&B with one other family and the owners, so like two other families. It was nice to have something that felt a little bit more sexy, and I don't know, I just liked the idea to have an alternate top. I really liked that pattern from Jolly, the Claudia, I believe, that has a crisscross. I thought that looked super cute, so I was super happy to make this. I also had a bit of drama while making it. Oh my god, I was so annoyed at myself, but I managed. Again, you can go and see that video. I'll put all of the videos related to what I'm talking about in the description. This way you can go and see all of that. But yeah, I was really happy with the fit. I kind of didn't believe it would work until the last moment when I put the bottom band elastic, and then it all came together and I was so happy. I felt super pretty in this, and yeah, only good thing to say. And the Sandpiper bottoms, still like one of my favorite bottoms of all time. Actually, again, spoiler alert about what I'm going to make in the autumn probably, but my wife was very jealous of my bottoms, and now I have to make her a pair as well because she was really jealous of me at the beach because the Sandpipers are so nice, let's face it. Then we have the Springer dress, which I've made. I've already told you, I've been wearing it at a wedding with a big bow. I felt very cottagecore, very pretty. I've mentioned it's not the pattern I feel the most comfortable in, but clearly people have been like loving it, but like really loving it. The fabric is super comfortable, and I also have a video talking about kind of like that experience and everything, so I'll just send you to that video. But the Springer dress, also a really nice one, and also felt very happy in it. Then we have all the bows and the scrunchies I've made for my cousin's wedding. I just posted on Instagram because we got the photos from the photographer of them getting ready and all of the bows and everything, and that was really sweet. The project that covered my machine in glitter, I think I'm never ever going to get fully rid of. But so that was that. Such a nice moment to see them being worn on the wedding day. Just a very nice one. Again, a bit of selfless sewing, but that was great. And definitely a new experience as well. Like, I had never sewn with that type of fabric, and I had never sewn with tulle, and especially tulle that was embedded with foamy glitters. And it was really fun because my grandma, who was also obviously at the wedding, is a super beautiful seamstress, and so she was super intrigued to be like, oh, but how did you sew through the glitter and everything? So I could explain, oh, they were foam actually, so you just had to like push them through and it would work. And it was just so nice to have this little moment like chatting with her about what I had made and everything, and yeah, it was lovely. Then there was the bikini I made for my friend. This one, sadly, the top is not fitted to perfection, but almost, and she's not, oh my god, not gonna cry. Woo, woo. Okay, keeping it in. She left yesterday for the US. We went to say goodbye at the airport, and I was really like super proud of myself that I didn't cry while they were there. Basically, like they like super chill. Bye, see you later. And then they left, and basically basically I lost it. My friend who was with me was really like, it's alright, I'll take you out for brunch, we can still do all of the things just without her. And yeah, like, I had a very big cry. It's all good. She's gone. Oh, she's gone with her swimsuit, and yeah, it's very nice that at least I could put something in her suitcase that, you know, hopefully is gonna remind her of me. Moving on. I made the paintbrush wrap for her as well, and I made one for myself to go travel. It was really nice to have the little kit to go and travel with a smaller selection of paintbrushes, and yeah, I think she's really happy with hers. I made it in the leftover fabric from my wife's jumpsuit, and I think it's super nice. I also made her, I didn't count that as a project made, but I also made her a couple of scrunchies because I know she likes scrunchies, and I used my leftovers to make her a couple of scrunchies too. By the way, when I say 15 projects, I count the paintbrush wraps as one, even though I made two, and I counted the red leotard and skirt as one, even though I made two, and all of the scrunchies and bows are one massive box with lots of scrunchies and bows. And I'll say when other things are being grouped, but just so you know, if you start counting everything, it'll be at a lot more than 15, but I thought that makes sense to kind of like group the wraps, for example, together. Then, super exciting project actually, that's coming up mid-September on the channel. I repaired a shirt for a friend. So I have a friend, she works with rescued dogs, and basically she got one of her shirts ripped and asked me to repair it, and it's a really fun video where you're going to see me mending that shirt. I think it's a super interesting process of the mending, but then actually you're going to see that I also, like, spoiler alert, fully transformed the shirt. So coming up mid-September, I gave the shirt to her, the final product, yesterday, because she was the one I was at the airport with, and she was super happy with it. So I was kind of waiting to actually like see her reaction to the final product, because obviously, you know, she's seen the photos, but I still wanted her to see the final thing. She was super happy, so good job me, and I can't wait for you to see that one. And I will actually be a bit sneaky and not put any photos and keep the suspense for now regarding the shirt. Okay, we're reaching the end and I'm seeing the time and I'm like, okay, need to keep moving. Pull down outfit. Also in the video, that's a one massive video with the FBA explanation and me making my swimsuit, the swimsuit for the friend. And then the pull down outfit in the end. I don't know if you remember, so at the end of the video, I'm kind of having a meltdown because the underband wasn't perfect, and actually what happened is that I saw it on her. I saw that it wasn't straight and I took it off her and I tried to correct it on the spot, and she left without retrying it on. So I hadn't seen if I had fixed the problem or not, and so it was kind of like still in my head, like it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But she told me she wore it at her pole dance class. She told me she got so many compliments of it, and she didn't mention that it was still wavy. So I assume, maybe I should check with her though, but I assume that one is a win and a finished product and is all good. I know that the video finished a bit on a like, oh my god, it's not perfect, but actually it's all good. It fits her super nicely, and yeah, she still needs to send me a photo of her like at a pole dance class. I don't know if I'll be able to share it with you because, you know, they're not wearing so much, but yeah, I can't wait to see it in action, because it's still nice to obviously see the results of what you're sewing for others, so can't wait to see that. You know, the issue with long videos is not that it's long for you guys, it's that I'm literally like, I'm losing steam. 3 more projects. The Ogden cami, that's the, so I think that's the video yeah, that's the last video you saw. So I pieced together an Ogden cami from leftover fabric I had. Very nice way to kind of like used up my leftovers, and very happy with the cami. Super breezy, super comfortable. So yeah, the video was literally last week, so if you've seen it, you know, very happy with it. I'm not sure that's my favorite type of patterns to sew. Like, I find the facing like so fiddly, but maybe if I was doing it in something less shifty than the viscose I had, maybe it would be better. And maybe if I did it again now, because I know how it works, it would work better. I'm kind of thinking it would be really nice to make it with like slightly wider straps as well, to feel a bit, not really for coverage, but this way my bra straps are definitely covered. I feel like that could be good. And maybe shorten the strap a fraction, so that it doesn't fall quite so low at the back, because I've noticed that at the back my bra sometimes peak and I don't wear my bra really high in the back. So maybe for a future Ogden cami, wider straps, a bit shorter, but yeah, otherwise super happy with the results from this project. But see, like some projects I'm happy with the result and I find it fun to sew, and this I didn't quite find fun to sew, but maybe in a cotton would be fun to sew. And finally, I've made a Cassidy wrap top for my sister's birthday. I don't think she watches my video, so it's fine if I show this, even though I haven't given it to her yet. And that actually I filmed as a sew along. So if you wanted to sew a Cassidy wrap top for yourself, I actually show all of the steps. Like, it's quite a long video, but it's really like taking you by the hand and making the top with you. I've never done a sew along before, but I kind of wanted to give it a try and see how it goes. So done that, and that's coming on the channel mid-October, so you just need to wait a little bit if you want to make your Cassidy with me. But mid-October that video is coming up, it's already scheduled and it's already ready. And yeah, I was super happy with the result. I think a wrap top is quite a good gift for someone that's roughly your size, but you know, she's obviously not me, but it makes the fitting easier with the wrap. The fabric has also a small amount of stretch, but I think that's also going to help me. And yeah, in general, I find the Cassidy a really nice project. Like, I just find everything's finished very nicely. It's very neat. I don't know, I realize I really like Helen's Closet, actually. I find the instructions and finishing really nice. Like, for me in a pattern, it's not only like how it looks on the outside or everything. Like, I find good instructions so relaxing. Like, if you sew to relax, I find that having instructions where you just feel like you feel that you can trust what's being said to you, you're full of confidence and you go ahead, like, it just makes a big difference. So yeah, so I'm showing you a little sneak peek of the wrap, but you can see later on I have the whole sew along going for this. And then with the, oh, actually, let me bring that to you. The wrap is hard to show because if it's not worn, like, I tried to take photos when I hang out, it doesn't work. So I have it here, but I'm not going to hold it up to you. But what I'm going to show you, so my sister has a daughter who's my niece, and for my niece's birthday, so my sister's birthday is start of September, so I will give her her top start of September, and I will keep this for November when it's my niece's birthday, and I'm going to give her this top. This is a new to me pattern, it's lemonade pattern, and I always put everything in the descriptions basically. Like, if there's anything in my video where you like, I want to know more, like, go in the descriptions. I really put everything. And look at this, look at the buttons. Isn't this super cute? So as you can see, it's from the same fabric as I made for her mom, so she'll be able to have like a mini matching moment with her mom. And I think that because this is quite an oversized shape, it should fit her for quite a while, hopefully. I was not super smart. I bought a pattern kind of thinking like, oh, it's going to be good for making stuff for her for the future, but actually I didn't realize that she's already the biggest size in the pattern, so it's not at all going to be practical to make stuff for her in the future. But so this is that, and there's a video coming about that end of October, so you'll have to be very patient. I'm sorry, I told you I'm like pre-filming a ton because school is starting and I'm a bit worried about how little time I'll have to make projects and videos in that time. So end of October you'll have the full review about this project. And I counted everything I'm going to show you as one, but I've also made her a tiny scrunchie that matches with her top. I always use the scrunchie techniques from Seamwork. I think it's very nice, and I made the mini for her. And then with the leftover fabric, I made a little pouch in which I can then put the top and the scrunchie, and that I find so chic. I've also made a bigger pouch for my sister's top to offer it to her, but wait, let me put it in. It's too cute. I find that having a pouch that's matching what's inside is so chic. I feel like I'm literally offering a luxury gift when I do that. Look at this. Look at this, isn't it so cute? I love this, like such a nice present. So normally I use leftovers and I make bias tape for this, but I was like, actually the string literally cost nothing and it looks really clean. I don't know, really, it's so cute. So this is the little pouch, so you have to imagine a bigger pouch for my sister's present. But yeah, I think it's super nice. Like, I just want to repeat the same things 5 times. I think this is super cute. I think this is really nice. I think this is really chic. I love making those little pouches. to offer to people. Okay, I'm realizing that for the next part of the video, we are going to move. I'm gonna take you and you're gonna move to the table, because otherwise it's never gonna work here if I need to carry all the fabrics. Before we move on to the plans, can I have your opinion? I'm really struggling. I'm having a bit of a crisis. Option 1, I chop off the skirt to create a big amount of fabric and I make myself an Agustina top. I know they fit, I know it's comfortable, I know I love it. So kind of like a very, very safe option. Chopping this and having an Agustina top. I guess I could make the cuffs in the small thing here, and that would still give that, you know, contrast between the big and the small. I could even have exposed bias. Ooh, an exposed bias neckline in the small ones. Yes, yes, I have ideas. Or do you think I try to make this top fit, even though it's going to take 1.5 million darts and tucks and everything? Do you think it's really hard? Please, please vote. Do I keep this or do I chop this? Please help me decide. Okay, let's go to the table for part 2. That's funny, it feels so familiar to be here. Like I see myself in the viewfinder. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a usual background. Okay, let's take things in order. I have my whole pile here, so let's take things one at a time for now the projects that are coming up. I have self-drafted shorts here. Sorry, that's the shorts I'm copying. That's the self-drafted shorts. I'm not self-drafted. I mean, I know people say self-drafted online, but is it self-drafted? Like copied short, like I'm cloning my existing shorts, bike shorts. And so this is cut and ready to be sewn up. And if you remember my previous projects, this is the leftover fabric from my like favorite sports top I made. And I've already realized that this is going to be way too see-through to be wearable at the gym, but I wear shorts under dresses all the time because this way it keeps my thighs from chafing. So these are going to still be very useful, just not to wear at the gym. So 1, bike shorts. Next up, okay, I feel so bad because this should not be my next project. My next project should be the one I'm going to show you after, but this has kind of jumped the queue. I was going to make the palisade pants out of this linen that I got from Spotlight in Australia, but then I kind of had a moment. I woke up one morning and I thought, what I need in my life is an elasticated gathered skirt, because all of my skirts, you know, you wake up and you're like, I just need a gathered skirt. All of my skirts have a zip, and I never really thought about this when I was making them, but actually they're all zipped. So if I expand during the day, they're all uncomfortable, and I want something with elastic. I need more elastic in my life. And so therefore also I need more skirts that are plain, because everything I have has patterns on them, and so nothing goes with anything. So a skirt in this linen would be perfect, which means I will then need to buy a new fabric for the palisade pants, which kind of puts the palisade pants back at the bottom of the list because I don't know when I'm going to make them or in which fabric. I'm kind of thinking a burgundy. Imagine the palisade pants in burgundy. Yes. Oh yes. Okay, calming down, because you're gonna see that not having too many projects. Oh yeah, that's what I should start with. Sorry, I'm so rambly. I'm about to say 2 very, very opposite things, I realized. My goal for this autumn, I'm about to show you literally 10 projects I want to make. Sorry. My goal for this autumn is not to have too many goals. However, I start school in just a week, actually, in just a week. So I still have a week to make my 10 projects and then school starts. But, you know, basically, I'm sorry, I'm so like, it's because I'm trying to say I'm not giving myself too many goals. I'm realizing that as I'm telling you, I'm not making too many goals. I am making a ton of goals. Basically, there will be no deadlines for all of this. We're staying chill, basically, because I'm going to see how it goes with school. But I want to make a gathered skirt in this. I was really like, do I film making a gathered skirt? I feel like everyone's made a gathered skirt on YouTube and maybe it's not helpful. But at the same time, I feel like the way I want to proportion mine and the length I want is a little bit different from what I've seen online. So I'm not fully decided, but I was thinking I might film it just so that you see my take on a gathered skirt. So gathered skirt I want something comfy and practical. Was also thinking, actually, I was thinking about going to class and sitting maybe for a long time, or being working in the studio and having to bend and everything. And I was like, I need something comfy for school. So school's good. Then we have, sorry, I keep everything in, I keep the pattern along with the fabric, but I have the fabric for my Persephone pants, which I'm making. If everything goes well, it's the video you'll see next week, because I've promised, I believe it's another Noémie. Hey fellow Noémie, I believe you called Noémie. I promised I would make Persephone pants for curvier bodies, and I've done a ton of thinking about it, and I'm ready to cut into this and to make my Persephones. I'm also going to make them with a zip, actually. Like, who wants buttons, really? So Persephone pants. Next up, I have this fabric. Did I show this already to you? I have bought this to make the... I'm sure I can remember this. It's not the Palisade, it's not the Persephone, it's another P. It's not the Paloma. Oh, come on. Come on, guys, I'm sure you know. Yell at your screen now and tell me what... The Patina! Yes, okay, I remembered. Patina blouse in this. This is a viscose, this is super nice and drapey. And I don't know, I kind of like sew it. It was really my type of blue. And Patina blouse, I think I'm gonna hack the color for my first one. I want it a little bit different than what the pattern's planning, but yeah, Patina blouse in this, going to be exciting. I hope I'll have time to make it, you know, so that I can actually wear it this autumn. But from that part on, like the first projects I showed you up to the Persephone pants, I'm feeling kind of confident. Afterwards, we entering the future, and I have no clue when I'll have time to make what, so we shall see. This, I realized it was the second on my project list for my summer project. It's still there. Obviously, I didn't make it in my summer project because it's an autumn make. So, you know, no shame, it's fine, we're not upset. But I'm going to make a shirt out of this. So the vision is kind of like a twist on the traditional men's shirt that would be made out of this with the bikes and the flowers. So this is still on the list. And now that the season for it is coming, I really hope I get to make it on time to be wearing it this season. So fingers crossed this time to make this pattern. And then I was going to make, I already mentioned this last time actually, I was going to make a Sandpiper swimsuit for a friend in this. So it's going to be not fully reversible. I mean, it's not really reversible, but the lining is also Lycra. So you could reverse it if you don't mind to see the seam in the dark blue here. See how it looks. Might be reversible in some sense. I'll let you know. And I was thinking of doing a sew along for this as well. The reason why this is not made is that I was supposed to see her to take her measurements, and in the end I didn't see her, and she didn't want to take her measurements herself and send them over so that I could start. So this is still there, and I hope to have enough leftover fabric of this dark blue. I realize you can't really see it. Wait, the color's not picking up well. Here you are, it's dark blue. And if I have enough leftovers from this one, this is what I'll use to make the Sandpiper bottom for my wife as well, because that'll go really well with the top she has. The bottom she has at the moment are dark blue, and the top she has is dark blue, and so this is going to go well so that she can keep the top she likes but use the new bottom instead of the one she currently owns. So Sandpiper going to make in this. I remember that when I made my summer sewing plans, I mentioned several friends I had to make Sandpipers to, and one of them was the friend who left for the US. I made a Sandpiper bottom, but in the end she wanted the top from the Claudia pattern from Jelly. So I have kind of like made half of that point from last time. That's the elastic, swimsuit elastic that's staying with my fabric. Finally, that's definitely not going to be for autumn. I just want to tell you where I'm at with the thinking. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my God, seeing it on, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Sorry, I have a crush every time I see this fabric. I already had a little chat with you guys about what I do with this, and I really am going to take my time. I love this fabric way too much to not do the right thing. I kind of think that maybe I will do the Springe jumpsuit in this because it's so striking. It's going to be so beautiful. And now that I had so many compliments about the Springe dress. Like literally, I don't feel super comfortable with the breast on show, but everyone seems to love it. I don't know. I'm not going to make any rushed decision. That's probably going to be for next spring, but I just want to tell you, this is still there. This is still beautiful. It's kind of this way you've seen everything I have in my stash. Like, I don't really consider it a stash, as you know, because it's all future projects, but this way you know kind of like everything I have fabric-wise that's going to turn into something one day. But this, let's face it, it's probably for next spring more than for this autumn. And finishing up, I just wanted to show you, but I keep my scraps from everything, so you can see it's kind of like everything you've just seen now. I keep my scraps, and at the end of the year, probably during the Christmas holidays is when I do that. I go through everything and I do an analysis, like how much do I have? What type of fabric is it? Do I make, and then because it's Christmas coming soon, like when I make this, I generally make a ton of like present bags and handkerchiefs and scrunchies and God knows what. Like I basically tend to keep the scraps as I make the projects, and then when I have time I tackle them all in one go, and I try to kind of like bust my scrap in like one efficient couple of days, because it doesn't feel good to have so many. But like for example here, like I have quite a lot of fabric left to actually make something. So some of them, maybe it's just like they get a project pinned onto them and I'm not making them as part of the scrap busting session itself. Or you make a patchwork dress like I have here, but that's a lot more work. So yeah, just wanted to say the scraps are also something that is kind of like on my make pile, but probably more for winter. So probably we can just put them on the side for now. Ooh, realize my pile is so high that you can now like see it on screen. So the scraps go on the side, but that's also something I'm going to tackle at some point. Did I say everything? Yeah, no, okay. That's why we have the notebook. Originally, I really had like firmly in my head that I wanted to make the Brooks jeans, the West End jacket, and I also wanted to make a noodle head. I think it's noodle head bag. This is basically all scrapped off my list, except if I have a lot of time for some reason after I finished all of this. I have the pattern for the West End jacket. It's a pay what you want pattern. I already have it. And for the Brooks jeans, I already have it too. But honestly, I'm totally letting go. Like this is where I'm going back to not giving myself too many goals, because I don't know what's going to go on with school. So if I have way too much time, I'll make those, and I'd be super excited to make those. I've never made jeans, so making jeans would be a super exciting new endeavor for myself, but there's too much unknown at this point. So we'll see what happens with those. But one last thing I want to add on my sewing list is to make a leotard for my friend I made the red leotard for. I don't think she watches my video, so I can totally tell you about it, but it's her birthday, I think mid-October. When we were talking about the leotard and choosing the pattern for the one I made for her, the red one, she saw that Jali also had one with a twisted front, and she kind of said like, oh, I really like it, but she saw that it was with long sleeves and she was like, oh, I don't need long sleeves. In my head, I was like, but you know, it also comes with short sleeves. And so now that I have all of her measurements and I know the elastic around her thigh, what size it needs to be as well, because everything stays in my sewing notebook, so I have it all, I was like, I think I'm going to surprise her for her birthday with a twisted front leotard. It's just, it was a nice project to make the leotard. I think the twisted front is going to be a super fun challenge. I hope I'm not going to regret saying this. And obviously, again, assuming I have time, but I hope I'm going to have time to make this for her, because she's been so nice and patient for the leotard and for the pull down outfit. Like I already told her, but like she came for a lot of fittings so that I could learn, so that I could improve in my sewing. So I'd really like to make this for her. Also, the red lycra that I used for the leotard wasn't so expensive, and they have it in different colors. So I'm just planning to buy more of that one and make that for her. So something quite safe, because I'm not going to go on a crazy print and not be sure that she likes it. Also for ballet, she likes something a little bit more uniform-esque in a sense. So I think I'm gonna go for like a blue or something quite neutral. So yeah, so that's my last plan. A little bit of, it's good because actually this is a lot of sewing for myself, I realize, except the swimsuit. So it's good to have one selfless plan in the works. That is all. I am so glad to have shared this with you. I don't know, it feels like such an achievement to have reached all this, and now that I can talk to you about school, I'm so excited. I received my timetable yesterday. Did I have a massive freak out? Yes. It's just the way they lay it out and everything. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. I had a little freak out when I saw my timetable, but now I calmed down and I'm so excited. I'm literally like ready to go and bounce into this and discover everything. Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. So I can't wait, like literally can't wait to take you along on this journey. I hope I can share as much as possible, you know, vlogs and maybe telling you if I learned any fun techniques or anything. So excited. How many times can I say this? So to stop saying this, I'm going to love you and leave you. What have you made in your summer or in your winter if you are in the Southern Hemisphere? Because Australian and South African viewers, I see you. A small percentage, but you're there. What have you made? Like, have you made something you love? Tell me what it is. And do you have plans for autumn? Make me jealous, but don't add anything on my list. So tell me all, what have you made? What are your plans? And like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to come back for more. And don't forget that you can make anything. Bye.